Another big story out there, obviously, is COVID. Restaurant owners, their employees, they want to be good citizens, but they also don't want to be the mask police once again. I want to bring on Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie, author of the new book, Targeted, One Mom's Fight for Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness. Lindsey, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming back. You were one of the first business owners to defy lockdowns last year. You see where everything's going once again. Are you worried?
I am worried that people are still complying because last year it was pretty easy to see that there was an agenda and a plan as far as removing our rights and the government controlling its citizens. And so many people said this is going to go on for months, and I thought, oh, good Lord, I hope not. And here we are 18 months later, and they're doing it again. And I think this time they're doing it because we can see through the science at this point. This time I think they're doing it to see if we are ever going to rise up and not comply. And I am terrified that the American citizens, the ones that don't believe the agenda, I'm terrified that they don't have it in them to stand up for themselves. When I stood up and I opened up, you won't believe it, but every single state agency in Oregon that could came after me. Well, guess what? They didn't have anything on me. They made threats and threats for weeks, and they couldn't back any of them up. And the point of them coming after me was because I was showing the world that they didn't have the authority to do what they did, and I was shattering that illusion. And, who never came after me was law enforcement. If this was a law, the law enforcement would be involved. Instead, we're seeing law enforcement officials issue letters saying, we're not enforcing this. This is ridiculous. So, it's time, whether you believe the propaganda science or not, it's time to stand up and take back your rights. And we're sliding into that slippery slope again 18 months later where they're seeing how far they can push us.
Lindsey, did you say you live in Oregon?
I did live in Oregon. I don't live in Oregon anymore.
I was going to say, because that is like the middle of the insanity hurricane. I never thought California could be overtaken as far as the craziest state out there, but I think Oregon's done it.
I think Oregon is for sure. The governor is the craziest governor. She's mandating masks outdoors again.
Yeah. Despite all the science that says otherwise. And that's the other thing, Lindsey. How many times did we hear in 2020? I counted 4 times that this is the end of the world. It's Armageddon. Wrap yourself in tinfoil. Go run for your basement. Hospitals are going to be overrun. People are dropping dead. And didn't happen. Okay? Didn't happen. We heard it 4 times. Well, now we're hearing the same thing. Delta variant. Hospitals being overrun. Health system crashing. How many times can people hear the government cry wolf before they finally go, you know what? F you.
Yep. Apparently at least 4 times.
5 now.
Yep. I think it's time that we start trusting in God and trusting in our own bodies and trusting our own health decisions to ourselves. The overreach that is the concept the government makes my health decisions for me is so insulting. We are not that stupid. We are not that naive. We can handle our own decisions for our family. And this is alarming. CPS came after my kids when I opened my salon. I'm not sure that was national news, but CPS, Child Protective Services, came to my home. What kind of world do we live in where a parent can't make a decision to provide for her kids without her kids then being targeted as a result of my defiance? That's alarming. We should be more alarmed than this mandatory vaccine or mask mandates, military mandatory vaccines. We should be alarmed at how hard the government will come at us for simply trying to preserve our rights. This is a terrifying time indeed, but not because the sky is falling because the Delta variant. The sky is falling because we're allowing our own government elected officials, the ones that we pay, our public servants, we're allowing them to turn around and control us.
Talking to Lindsey Graham right now, one of the first business owners to defy lockdowns last year. And Lindsey, this could be one of my topics on the show tomorrow. If we are told we should get vaccinated to protect the health of others, and that's what we're told, and if our government can force you to get vaccinated in the name of safety, then why don't they go even further and mandate Americans exercise? The lack of activity is driving up death rates, driving up medical costs for everybody. It's feeding the COVID epidemic because who's COVID go after? Goes after the obese, the out of shape, the sick. So when is the unhealthiness of this nation going to be addressed? When you've got a new study that says 25% of adults admit to exercising 0 minutes per week. Instead they want to force, but yet, all in the name of, well, you've got to protect your fellow man. Okay, well, then you better eliminate smoking. You better eliminate drinking. You better eliminate Doritos. You better eliminate all that stuff and make people get healthy, because when I look around and I see the unhealthiness out there, don't tell me I got to inject myself with something to protect that person when they don't give a damn about their own health.
Oh, my gosh. How can you make so much sense? You're making too much sense.
Yeah.
You're going to get pulled off the air.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, listen, keep up the fight. And, we just got to go through the fifth wave of Cry Wolf and get ready for the sixth.
That's right. Thank you. Well, stand up, people. Don't listen. Don't let them have a sixth. Show them that we are not complying this time. That's what people need to do.
Well said, Lindsey. Thank you. That's Lindsey Graham, the Patriot Barbie, author of the new book, Targeted: One Mom's Fight for Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness.